good day, good people. It's gonna be a short stream now. I might stream tonight again. We'll need to go to visit some guests in like 1.5 hours, so it's gonna be a relatively short one today. With that said, I need to figure out what I want to do today. I'm preparing this Kubernetes course. Well, not the course itself, because I'm not an expert in it, but the whole path of setting this cluster behind me. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we have that camera as well. That's okay. Yeah, okay, great. So I wonder if I should just we have a little let's rename the stream today. Let's call it programming Q&A. Get an advice. Pairing Kubernetes. Github. All right, let's rename the stream today to something else, actually. So yes, so essentially, yeah. So soon I'll start enabling this Kubernetes cluster behind me, and I've started today preparing this a very long repository of the things I'm planning to do, and obviously with the help of ChatGPT, I'm just setting up stuff that I want to cover, and I've listed my hardware currently that I'm using here, that I have behind me, and stuff like that. So that could potentially be yeah, useful. It's going to be, I think, a great course. Play one game. Good day, my friend. All right, so shit, man, I had a diagram for that. Where did I store that diagram? Yeah, I had my local infrastructure diagram. I would like to actually find that, but didn't like I have diagrams or something. Give me 1 second. Shit. I had a whole infrastructure diagram of my stuff. I would like to include that in the repo. Shit, where was that? I wonder. Anyway, doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do, so this stream is really up for you guys for any questions and stuff that you have, and I'm gonna work on this a bit. Yes, so I will definitely be, if you guys want, you can already, up to you, but you can already start this repository. I'll be basically doing a pretty long course on the, it's not really, I don't know how to call it. It's definitely going to be a course, but it's going to be something that so I'm gonna set up, we're gonna start using this Kubernetes cluster behind me, and I'm gonna set it up, and then I'm gonna record a tutorial for each one of these steps, right? So that's pretty much, we're gonna be kind of using this for Programmer Network for the next years to come, right? So I'll keep this repository live and stuff, and I'm gonna start this course probably on the tomorrow, or like, so yeah. Anyway, So anyway, yes. So let me go and design some stuff for this. So let's call this Kubernetes course or whatever. This is my current cluster. Many of you have seen the video. So let me just draw this, right? So we're gonna have a so we're gonna have the router. It's shit, fucking encoding, man. Are you kidding me? So we have a rack. So let's gonna draw this as well. So we're gonna have a rack, a 4-unit rack, and then inside of that rack we're gonna have submit to Rome. Good day, my friend. So this is gonna be representing our rack settings, theme, sketch, good appearance. Where is it? Settings. Shit. For shapes, right? No. Yes, beautiful. This is going to be our rack, right? And then inside of the rack, we have the actual router, which technically this should be sent to back. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to replicate this just for the guide itself. So wait, so where's my repo? So this is my physical rack. As you can see, I have 4 Raspberry Pis here. I have the MikroTik router, and then I have the power supply, right? So we can have a MikroTik router here. Then we're going to have RP1 and 2, 3, 4, right? So we're going to have something like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, something like this, right? This is too aggressive though, right? So let's, how do I remove the style from this crap fill? Hey everybody, good day, friends. How are you? Okay, great. And then this is going to be a Raspberry Pi 1, which is, this is going to be probably our master node, right? So let's just say master. And then this is our first node, first worker node in our Kubernetes cluster. This is the 3rd one. And then this is Raspberry Pi 4. I don't speak Danish properly still. And I wouldn't say it's hard. Nothing is really hard in life. Everything is hard when you don't put in the effort, of course. And I didn't put in enough of effort because unfortunately in engineering industry, especially here in Denmark as well, it's everybody from age of 3 until age of 100 speaks speaks perfect English, right? So I feel here like I'm in the US or UK, not in Denmark, right? So that's kind of the negative. But I am ashamed that I don't speak it properly still. It is shameful because I came to someone else's country and the least I can do is learn their language, right? But it's, when you move, I've been living here in Denmark for only 7 years, right? So, and there's been a lot of other stuff I got a kid in the meanwhile, right? And stuff like that, right? So that's how it is. But minimum you can do when you move somewhere is learn the culture and learn the language. If you don't, well, you should just fuck off and go back to where you came from. That's how it is. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is just gonna be, and then eventually, right? I'm gonna so this is gonna be some IP xxx 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 xxx, right? So we're gonna define this as we go. We're not there yet. Even though my cluster is set up, I'll have to reset all of my nodes and stuff and do it from scratch because I'm gonna use Ansible as well and some of the other things, right? So for now, let's just leave this as this. So I have how many ports? I have 5 ports here. So basically 10 ports. This is PoE. So basically there's 10 Ethernet ports, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then I have 5 more ports, and they're not PoE, right? They're not power over Ethernet. They're just, and that the only regret I have for this router, right? And I didn't wanna, you know, I didn't wanna do that when I was buying this MikroTik router, right? I didn't want to spend like 1,000 euros, but it would be really great if those things were actually power over Ethernet. So the only regret I have about this cluster is the fact that if all these ports had power over Ethernet, right, I could technically power my Raspberry Pis just over Ethernet port, right? And then I wouldn't need the power supply here for the most part, and I wouldn't need to buy. But the problem is to find an actual enterprise-grade router where each Ethernet port has power or power over Ethernet, PoE, right? That's very expensive. So, but one thing that I would change about this setup, this mini cluster here, is that those ports can power my Raspberry Pis. That was my initial intention, but it's very expensive because even those Raspberry Pis, the 4 ones you see here, 1, 2, 3, and here 4 is one is here. Even them, they were more than 150 euros each, right? So it's not cheap, right? And this router was like 300 euros or whatever. But yeah, it would be so nice if those adapters, I have 4 of those adapters here. It would be nice if they were not there and if we just had, you know, power over Ethernet. But maybe one day, right? Because right now we're using this thing that I'm writing right now, right? Is this is my router, right? And you can see, I think it only has a single. It actually has, you know, it has SFP, which is great. It has a lot of. The problem is if we take a look at PoE, right? So passive PoE, right? So that's right, and then voltage would be more than enough. And you can see PoE out, Ethernet 10, right? So if we had actually all of the Ethernet ports to power it, it would be great, right? But this is what we're using now. Another downside of the router, obviously, or all MikroTik professional equipment, unlike Cisco, right, is that you need a Winbox. Winbox is the interfacing tool with this. But I'm gonna talk about all this in this one. I'm gonna start recording this very long thing, and it's gonna be also learning for me in some things. You know, I haven't used Ansible in a long time. I used it last time when I worked at University of Denmark, Technical University of Denmark. But what I basically want to do, right, is like once I set up the master node here in the Kubernetes cluster, I don't want to be setting up worker nodes, all 3 other. Currently I have but maybe I'm going to add, right? So maybe I'm going to add another cluster of Raspberry Pis, you know. So Raspberry Pi 5 is coming out in October, well, at the end of this month. So once the 4s that I have go down a bit in price, I might actually add 4 more Raspberry Pis. So we might have 8 of them, right? And I don't want to end up setting up things manually on each one of them. So that's why we're using Ansible, right? So we're going to just, you know, set SSH key on each one of them and then run the Ansible playbook and run some Ansible thing, right? To you know, automate configuring every single one of them, right? And those are basically machines. Each one of these is a computer itself, right? That's the whole point, right? Is this the course you wanted to make? Well, there are many courses that I want to make, right? It's just, I think I'm gonna make something that's most fun for me first, right? But there's a bunch of courses that I would like to make, right? And this is the first thing I want to do, right? I think I want to enable my Kubernetes cluster, right? So yeah, so right now, how are they plugged in? I'm just gonna define that here. So I have RP1 is plugged into port 6, right? Yeah. So this is the master one, yeah. So let's say ET at 6, and this is at 6, right? Let's reduce that font size. Why the fuck is it so big, man? Yeah, so this is at 7. Actually, let's do it like this. Oops. At 7. Jesus Christ. Ethernet 8. At 9. And then at 10. Beautiful. And then we have at 6 here. How did I connect this so far? We have this as at 7. Ethernet 8 and Ethernet 9. The thing is, Sako, so absolutely, but I think that that's not the point of this project that I'm going to start now. The point is for me to get better at Kubernetes and also to record a course on this, right? So if I just wanted to, this cluster is already set up and it already works, so that's not the point. Because if I just wanted to set up the cluster, I wouldn't be streaming this. I would sit on my own, right? So that's not the point, right? I want to do it myself, right? All of it, because it's been what, 3-4 years since I used Ansible last time, right? When I was at DTU, right? But absolutely, I know who to talk to if I need some hand with Ansible, right? All right, and I'll just basically do something like this. I should have maybe just, yeah. I bought my Raspberry Pis, and it's each one of them has 8 gigs of RAM and stuff like that, right? So it's when I bought them, they were very expensive, and they're still actually very expensive. The brand new one with 8 gigs of RAM is still more than 100 euros for sure. How did I connect it? And then Ethernet 10, which is a PoE one, is actually free, right? Depends how much RAM, as I said. Check the one with 8 gigs of RAM, right? For which case could I use Kubernetes in private? It's just basically, so if we go to this tutorial I'm writing, right? So why would you even want to learn Kubernetes? There are 2 reasons. First reason, obviously, learning Kubernetes is that it's the future of infrastructure, and it's the present as well. So it's good. And second thing is this thing, right? By the end of this journey, aim to have the capability to rapidly instantiate new development environments and expose them. So imagine this. So my goal with this cluster behind me here, with this thing here, or to say with this thing, right, is to be able in this stream to just spin up anything and expose it to you guys in 2 minutes, right? So I want to use this cluster here. Like, let's imagine we build a new project in this stream. I want to be able to spin up new environment in 1 minute. And then you guys can access it already. I'm going to set up the DNS. I'm going to do all of this stuff so I can also get a randomly generated, I don't know, DNS, like a subdomain or whatever. So I want to be able to, like, hey, we need new environment. Let's build, I don't know, like, whatever. Let's build a Go service, right? I want to be, and right, and then hopefully in a year from now, approximately, I think it's going to take me a year to Kubernetes is very hard, and it takes a long time to learn to actually properly learn. Not this stuff. This stuff we're gonna set up, pretty fast. But Kubernetes is hard, and in 1 year from now, basically, so in a year when we talk here from now, I want to be able to just run Kubernetes on Hetzner and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's how it is. But Kubernetes is very hard. It's a huge piece of software, and setting anything up on a basic level is easy, obviously, but it's hard, and let's not pretend otherwise. Okay. Let's see what I wrote so far. Flashcards. Just my imagination. Just my imagination. You don't need, of course, to have Raspberry Pis to follow this once we actually have it. You can go and get 20 euros old laptops and stuff like that, right? That would be way more intelligent. The only reason I mag them, as I did, a bunch of them, this is basically 4 different computers, right? So I can add another 4 computers, right? I think I keep it back now, right? So you don't need to get Raspberry Pis, right? You can go to used market, right? Like here in Denmark, you can go to DBA, DK, and just search for laptop, right? And instead of if you don't have the money to pay for Raspberry Pis, right? You can find some old crappy laptops for like 20 euros, right? Just go and search for like some old stuff. You just install some Linux on it, some lightweight Linux like CoreOS or whatever, right? It's just Raspberry Pis enable you to just have that compact thing. But this laptop is probably, even though it's old like shit, is the random stuff I just found is yeah, you can really use anything. You can just go and buy shit. Like this is still insane, right? So this is still cheaper than let's say Raspberry Pi. It's just right. You lose the compact part of it, right? And not to mention that the power consumption of Raspberry Pis is meaningless. Actually, I have the power supply I have in here is a smart power supply, so I can measure how much electricity, how many watts this whole cluster is running now. And I think right now it's like 15 watts or something like that. So it's like what 1/6 of the light bulb, right? So that's the beauty of running Raspberry Pis. They have very, very low consumption of power, right? And I could probably reduce those watts further on down by removing the active cooling, right? So if I plug off, because I did buy the actually that's the shit that I forgot to add to wait, I actually need to add that to I need to add that to the list of this repo. How did I call this? Yeah, this is also what I bought. When did I buy this? 21st of May. So you can see this is the rack I bought. And unfortunately, they're not selling this anymore. I wanted to buy one more because for sure I'm going to add 4 more Raspberry Pis at one point. Little Leon, my best man. Good. I love you, man. Let's Raspberry Pi 4B. Hardware components. Yes. A badass. What are Raspberry Pis good for? Are they just small computers? I mean, they're good for very. I mean, let's just establish one fundamental thing here. Raspberry Pis are not something that's going to replace your servers, right? So it's not like you buy Raspberry Pis and it replaces your actual proper server. So that's not their. Raspberry Pis can be used for many things, also production-wise, right? But they can be used as microcontrollers. You can use them to put digital signage on your TVs, right? You can use them for many things, right? But obviously, this Kubernetes cluster we're going to run, and hopefully the one that's going to work together with Programmer Network alongside the Hetzner stuff that we have, we're going to make it to do some lighter tasks. We cannot use Raspberry Pis for decryption, right? Because you need CPU power for that, right? We cannot use it for Vertex AI, right? Right? Sure. Absolutely. And yes, but 100%. If you want to set up, your local NAS, or whatever, sure. But this is not what we're doing here. I want this actual rack to be exposed to the internet, and I want to use it as, we'll see what we're going to use it for, right? What the fuck happened here, man? Why is this markdown not correct? Oh, okay. New haircut? No, man, not really. This is my standard haircut. I don't know when did you see me last time? Ah, okay. Ah, shit, man, I'm such a fucking idiot. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you. I'm such a fucking idiot, man. I didn't notice that this was a I'm just adding all the hardware that I have because I want people to, at least, if they would want to, I want them to be able to replicate my setup here. Actually, you can also see this thing. So no, not really. So this is not no. We have a different repository for current architecture of Programmer Network, and this is not it, right? This is me setting up the the repo that I'm gonna follow to record the course on my Kubernetes cluster here. But when it comes to the infrastructure Programmer Network, we have a different repo for that, and I presented this many times to you guys before, if you remember. But this is different, and this is kind of private to some degree because this is my kind of a version of infrastructure as code. I'm not using Terraform or anything like that, but this is me documenting every single thing I did on Cloudflare, on Hetzner, on my custom Docker images and stuff like that. So this is my source of truth. Whenever I do a literal single step on anywhere on my server, that instantly goes here. Because if you don't do that, you're fucked. You're not gonna know what you actually ever did. So no, this is the infrastructure of Programmer Network. This diagram is probably right. I did not say that I don't like Terraform at all. I think Terraform is great. I didn't say that I don't like it, and I said I'm not using it right now. I did not say that I don't like it, right? Every additional tool, right, requires knowledge, requires time investment, right? So I'm not a DevOps engineer. I mean, I know a lot about DevOps and about infrastructure, but that's not my full-time job. Pulumi, yeah, I don't know. But I'm not going to be going and learning anything new. So this is no. If I do, yeah, I actually remember you showed me this, Sako. If I decide to do things, I will use, if I decide to go infrastructure as code, right? Yeah, sure. No, if I decide to use infrastructure as code, I'll definitely use Terraform. No question about that. It's mainly because if I'm going to invest my time again into relearning something, it has to be something that's the most popular, and Terraform is the most popular. There's no question about that, right? I did not say that. No, I did not say that I don't like infra as code. No. Quite contrary, I think that's the best way to build infrastructure. I'm not sure when did you hear me say that. No, no worries, man. No worries. I think the infrastructure as code is, in my humble opinion, the most accurate way to do infrastructure. And I'm using GCP at work, or my company depends on GCP. Clicking around the GCP dashboard or AWS dashboard, nobody fucking knows what you did. You go, you click somewhere, you save some configuration. Everything should be committed. Everything should have some history, right? And I think that those dashboards are causing a lot of complexity as well, because there's millions of places you can go and click. And I think infrastructure as code solves that, whenever possible. So I think I absolutely love Terraform. It's just that, again, I'm not a DevOps engineer again, and I don't need most of this stuff. I decided to do this because I need to start actually writing courses. Because honestly, this stream, as I said so many times, and I'm sorry for repeating, is useless from almost every perspective other than fun. And I think I have a lot of knowledge and experience that I can not just share, but also capitalize on. Because I see a lot of juniors recording videos on YouTube, having tens of thousands of followers or whatever, right, making money. And I've been doing this for 16 years, right? And I have 38 people watching me now, right? So Twitch is really useless for the most part, right? Ah, Rebecca is here. Rebecca, are you playing that video game? Okay, good. I was like, she's not here. She probably is playing that game. No, but I think no, no. I'm definitely not going anywhere. The stream is gonna go on for many years. I think I just realized that I can more efficiently use my time as well, right? And if I actually make more like I've repeated so many things inside of this stream over a past year, and I think some of those things deserve some sort of a video or tutorial or something, right? And this I decided to do this because it's fun for me, right? And I think having a physical devices here as well, it's gonna make the course a bit more fun when people in the video can actually go and see the physical devices. And right, I don't use anything, Josh. I build that manually. I just use some JVT library just to generate the JSON web token and stuff. But I don't use that. I directly use the LinkedIn and GitHub and what else do we support? Twitch, auth APIs. Yeah, Totem. I mean, again, it all just requires a lot of time, right? I'm trying to find the time for all this, right? Because it's don't forget, I have just like you guys, I have a full-time job, wife and kid, right? So I'm still in the process of figuring all the stuff out. When do I stream? When do I do this, right, and stuff like that? So it's a lot of work, right? I mean, if I was just like sitting home and not doing anything, just having all the time in the world, right? All right, what did I want to do here? Okay, sure, fine. Oh yes, let me just add everything I bought because I just want to kind of list all of the stuff for those when I Well, I guess, I don't know if this needs description. I don't know what to write here as description. All right, and then what else did I buy? I have this. Yeah, I mean, I just want to list. I want to list things, right? That is when I set this up a couple of years ago. This existing cluster I have, which I'm gonna nuke and then do from scratch, and then need to record proper videos and stuff. That's gonna take time for sure. And FYI, I'm doing this actually because of myself, because I need to learn a lot of this stuff pretty much from scratch. Great. Great. Ah, shit. And if anyone has any questions or needs help with something, I'm not going to be coding much this stream because it's going to be a short stream. We're going to visit some friends in like an hour from now. So what do you use for state management in React? Use state hook, Redux when needed. Pretty much that's it. Pretty much that's it. Then I'll need to do the MikroTik stuff. Let me actually try to SSH into some of my existing Raspberry Pis in this cluster. Yeah, that one seems to be down for some reason. What about this one? All right, so here we're in the Raspberry Pi 2 right now. So basically right now we are essentially inside of this fella here. So now we are SSH'd into this bad boy here. Let's see if actually stuff is still on. Connecting to ports, yes. So it seems that, yeah, the question is, like, I've set those fellas up and they've been offline for a long time. I'll need to kind of revisit, do they still have access to the internet and stuff like that? Let's actually ping the Google's DNS. Yeah, it doesn't seem so. So it's either the DNS is messed up or, yeah, so, but we'll do that all, it's okay. I mean, they're obviously not exposed to, I'm not routing internet in any way to them right now. So that's, there's a bridge here. I use them for just local house home lab stuff for as a Pi hole to just for I had the Pi hole on one of them. For those of you who don't know, Pi hole is a way to block, is a basically ad blocker on a network level. So you block all ads before it even gets to, so on a low, you know, layer of network, right? So I had a Pi hole running before and just blocking all of the shit. So I wouldn't need ad blockers and stuff like that. And then for experimenting, for playing with it, I mean, this was initially built for, well, initially I wanted to host programmer network on this cluster, right? But then when I started streaming and building this platform online, I realized that it would be too many things. I had limited time, right? So I had to throw away that idea and I went to Hetzner, right? But the idea was that I host it here at home and that it's always here in my place, right? Yes, Leo, that's correct. Yes. You block all the ads on the network level. So on your router, and then, of course, if you have additional, you know, wireless routers, whatever, then they would also be protected from all of that stuff, right? Yes. And you do that with Pi-hole. So one of the most used actually use cases of Raspberry Pi today is actually setting up Pi-hole on one of them, right? So you connect Pi-hole, you connect a DNS on it, then you route all of your traffic, all of your internet traffic through the Pi-hole, and then on the Pi-hole level, what you do is you block, various sites, so this would, and with Pi-hole, I mean, I don't have it set up anymore, right? But you can see with Pi-hole, you get a dashboard like this on your local network. You can see all of the shit that you blocked, and then you keep adding the website. So if there's some website that you want to block, you would go to here to the dashboard, and you would blacklist that website here, right? You would go to this blacklist and you would add that stuff. But generally, there's a huge community behind Pi-hole, so people are regularly updating the trackers list. So you just block most common trackers out there, right? It doesn't matter what you're using, right? If it's wired or not, right? You use the Pi-hole as your DNS, right? So you would set set your DNS settings that point to your Pi-hole, right? So your all the traffic would go through Pi-hole. That would be right. Now we don't need to get into details of it, right? You can configure it in various ways, right? What do you think about? I don't know. Wait. Is this what you're? Are you referring to Red Hat? Because if you're referring to Red Hat, I am not a fan of this company. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't say I hate this company, but Red Hat, and there are three companies on this planet I deeply dislike. It's Red Hat, Adobe, and obviously I can't remember my. No, the database. What was the name? Jesus fucking Christ. Adobe I hate the most because Adobe is the only company on the planet where you can't cancel your subscription once you start paying for it. You have to wait for the whole year to cancel it. Oracle, yes, Oracle for sure. Oracle I despise. I don't wanna mention. If somebody mentions Oracle on this stream, I'm gonna ban him instantly. That's how much I hate them. The most fucking disgusting business on the whole planet. I have no words to describe. Like a company that based their whole technology on consultants. If you want to use Oracle, you need to pay for consultants, right? I'm not literal. I'm not going to ban you, of course. I'm not that big of an idiot, right? For sure. Don't worry. I'm not that big of an idiot. But yeah, I dislike that company very much. I had to work with Oracle only once in my career, and I'll never do that again, ever. Okay, give me a second, please. Yeah, so here's the micro SD reader, right? And this is basically where you host your operating system on Raspberry Pi, right? So this is this SanDisk Extreme, right, thing. So I'm gonna not do it now because I actually need to do it so I can record it as a video. But technically, give me one moment here. Where is it now? I think it's like this. How the fuck do I put it in? I don't remember. Is it like this? Yeah, I think it's actually like this. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Shit, give me a second. All right. Let me see. Yeah. So this is basically something that we'll need to format, right? Give me 1 second. My sound is fucked up. 1 sec. Yeah, so we'll basically have what we'll have to do, right? We'll have to download one of those things. There's also Raspberry Pi, USB maker, whatever. I don't remember what was Pi Imager. Yeah, exactly. So we'll use the Pi Imager, right? Which we'll have to install, right? And I'm not gonna do that actually now. But yeah, you get the Pi Imager, right? And this Pi Imager actually, I'm going to show you now a bit, right? If you give a crap, right? But this kind of helps you a bit to set up the plain OS, right? A bit easier, right? So for example, you would say choose the OS, and instead of needing to download stuff manually, like an image, like an ISO image, right? You would come here and you would say, okay, I want to set up the other general purpose other Raspberry based on this image, media OS, emulation and game, other specific purposes, digital signage, freemium paid OS. I think we want to set up other, right? We want to go here and we want to say Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. But I would like to set up the light version of it, right? So it's this one, a port of Debian Bullseye with no desktop environment, right? Compatible with Raspberry Pi 3, 4, and 400, right? So you would do this, right? You would say, okay, I want the light version, right? I don't want to... So I want to say Raspberry Pi OS Lite. Storage, right? It's obviously this. And then you would want to go to settings here, right? Here you would set the host name, very important, right? You call this, whatever, RP1. That's what I do, right? And then here you can enable SSH, and I would always advise, again, I'm going to create a video on this, but here you would enable SSH, and then you would so one thing that I will have to change in this README that I wrote is that I wrote that the Ansible is going to run from my master node, but it's not actually true. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set up Ansible on this computer from which I'm streaming, and then I'm going to run Ansible and then, run the Ansible scripts and then to my worker nodes, so to those Raspberry Pis. So generally here, right, I would paste my public SSH key from this computer so that they're automatically set on the Raspberry Pis, then I can automatically SSH into them, right? Then you would obviously not want username and password because you're using SSH. You don't want the wireless, right? And that would be pretty much that, right? I'm not going to do that now. Actually, I just wanted, because I'm going to record a video on this when I start doing this. But this is general. And then you would do this 4x. So you have to do this, unfortunately, 4 times, right? Which means actually now when I think about it, that I probably will not do this part here. So I'm going to actually update this Ansible part, right? So yeah, so this part here where my Ansible, I'm actually adding SSH keys using Ansible, that's going to go away. I'm not going to do that. So what my Ansible is really going to do is just going to invite the worker nodes to my cluster, basically, for now. just so I don't need to do this 3 times on each individual thing, right? And also it's a good way to kickstart this whole process using Ansible. Then we can automate more stuff as we go, right? And then once we actually get to this point, we're gonna somewhere in the middle configure some network address translation or NAT, right? So we're gonna expose something to the outer internet. We're gonna see how that's gonna work, because I actually want to do it through Cloudflare. So I will want to set up some VPN maybe to Cloudflare or whatever. I'm not yet sure, right? That part is gonna be the tricky part, right? Exposing this stuff in a safe way from my home network, right? So that's great. So actually I have this. I'm not gonna do this now. I need to record this video later on. And then I will actually set up this from scratch and then record this as I go. Anyway, because this is stream, we're not going to be coding much, because I'm going to round up maybe in 40 minutes. Does anyone have any interesting things they want to ask or discuss or whatever? Yes, I've used Cloudflare tunnels already. Might do that, right? No, I'm not. I'm not playing New World. No, I wish. I actually wanted to play. I wanted to buy that thing, right? But I didn't buy it because I don't have the time. So don't take me wrong. It was very tempting, right? But yeah, I just don't have the time, because I know if I start playing now, I'm probably gonna not stream for a couple of days or whatever, and I don't want to do that, right? I use ChatGPT for a year now, version 4. I'm using it since it came out, actually. Also in this stream. Of course that I've tried it. It would be insulting to my intelligence that I'm not using it. Why don't you work at Fang? I don't find that necessarily super fun. I love startups. I love different environments than Fang, right? What do you mean it's going to be? This platform is already live, right? Okay, let me ask one question. This link that you see below my avatar, is it not explicit enough? Like, do I need to do something? I have a feeling that I literally have a link to the platform on my face. No, it's a genuine question. I have people come here and say, hey, you know, when this is going to be online, and there's literally a link. There's literally a link that you can go to now for months and sign up in one click, right? Because it. No, dude, please. This is. I might have answered in a bit passive aggressive way. That was not my intention. I genuinely, you're not the only one who asked this, right? And there is a link there, right? I see. Okay. Thank you for the feedback, because genuinely, I mean, this is not the first time I get asked this, right? A lot of people are like, oh, when is this, right? What is this, you know? But this platform is live, you know, there's 1,000 people already signed up, right? Got it. Yeah. I mean, if you go to Programmer Network, you know, you can go and sign up, right? You can sign up with GitHub, Twitch, or LinkedIn, or using your email and password, right? Fucking lazy people. You guys are so hilarious. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna tattoo programmer network on my forehead. It's big enough. So actually, I think so. I think what I'm gonna do soon, right? I'm gonna buy maybe a couple of keyboards or something, and then I'm gonna have some competition, where we run it for like 2-3 weeks, where people write the article, whatever, and then we choose 3 or 4 winners, and then I send you some. So for sure, at one point in time, when I stabilize some things and fix them, I mean, there is a way to get people to use the platform to write some content, right? You just need to reward them in some way, and so I'm gonna try to write some sort of a competition like that. I don't want to do that yet because I'm not happy with certain things yet. I still want to fix a few of the things. But once I'm there mentally myself, then I'll for sure, try to incentivize people to fill their profiles in, add their experiences, right? Just for sure, for sure. Like, it's just, again, I'm not in a rush. This project for me is something that's going to take a long time. So I'm not pressuring myself, right? Who needs extra keyboards? Exactly. True, true. Jan is my friend. So Jan is my. I don't know what ChatGPT Vision is, man. They have ChatGPT Vision access. I don't know what GPT-4 Vision is. I'm using just ChatGPT basically. Jan is my friend, so I have access to 2 accounts. All right. Give me 1 second. Is this my super long discussion with it? Yes. I'd like to use Cloudflare Tunnel to expose my K3S to the internet. How would that work with Kubernetes? Actually, yeah, I've heard about it. No, I don't have access to that yet. I didn't get it. I don't know when, but I didn't get the access yet. Yes. I don't think that I have the access yet. I'm waiting for that. Yeah, I don't have the voice nor image yet. Same, my account doesn't have it, yeah. Beautiful. So we're gonna do this. Beautiful. I can't wait to actually set this up. Yes. Beautiful. Fuck happened here, bro? Ah. Shit. All right, great. This is just some notes, right? I'll need to, yeah, I'll need to revisit this, and I need, because I haven't done this in a couple of years. No, maybe when did I use the tunnels last time? I don't actually remember, but it's been a while. So I'll just aggregate this, and as I go, I'll figure out. So this document will drastically change. I have no doubts about that. I don't believe in free things, like I said. So no, behind every free thing, there's a catch, right? And again, I don't care about $20 a month, man. Literally, like genuinely, I for me that's I don't think about it. It's not a cost at all, right? Again, as I said, $20 for me is free. I would pay $100 as well, 100%, without thinking, right? I agree with you, 1,000,000%. 100% agree. 100% agree with you. There's no questions about that. Saves me so much time. It's right. No question about that, right? I'm just gonna create this for myself, this course I'm making. So I'm gonna store some links here so I can go back and forth. Do 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 do. Beautiful. Okay. Where's my repo? Where's my almighty repo? Repo. This is the API. Let's go programmer network. Do 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 do. At the top of the current message. Really? That would save me a lot of time. Here, you mean? Oh, dude, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Thank you for that. How? But that makes no sense. No, but that's just that makes no sense, man. No, I mean, you know why it doesn't make sense? Because I told it to write it all as Markdown, but then it failed to do it here. At least it rendered it as HTML, right? Man, I wasted so much time copy pasting shit like this. Thank you, Sako, man. Thank you, dude. It is the Markdown. Good, great. Yeah, obviously, right? Just wasn't aware of that. Beautiful. Okay. Give me just 1 second. And if anyone has any interesting questions or discussions, please throw them in there. Let's discuss it. I'm here for a couple more minutes. At all times, Sako. Okay, I didn't know that. So it's always Markdown. Jesus Christ, man, I didn't know that. Okay, so it's always Markdown. So I don't have to tell it, hey, write this as Markdown. Ah, interesting. Okay. Man, I've been using ChatGPT literally from day one. I didn't know that, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah, so we're gonna do this as well. So this was actually a great suggestion because I think it's way easier if we just tunnel it through Cloudflare, right? We basically solve so many security issues just by doing that. Otherwise, exposing stuff directly would be very painful because then people could DDoS, our IP, our network, so we could get DDoS on the networking layer, and there's no help against that on a home network, right? So for sure, right? For sure. Okay, we're gonna do that as well. So yeah, I think this is kind of roughly what. Well, DDoSing the. Yeah, I've seen that meme many times. Yeah, I've clicked on that thing many times. Yes, I just haven't been paying attention, honestly. Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? What the fuck, dude? The fuck happened here, bro? All right, never mind. It's failing to do that. So I'll need to do it manually, unfortunately. Searching for you. Kubernetes components explained. For you. Give me 1 second. Don't you pray for my soul anymore. 2 minutes to midnight. 2 minutes to midnight. Shit. Don't you pray for my soul anymore. 2 minutes to midnight. 2 minutes to midnight. The amber in the room. Shit. Jesus Christ, man. Can you copy paste properly? No. Actually, so enable SSH in each Raspberry Pi. So this is going to be done during installation, right? So those actually are going to go. So we're going to do this during the installation of Raspberry Pis. So those actually two are going away. In fact, this is going away, right? Because this is going to be done actually on the top, and we'll need to update this thing a bit. So that's perfect. Router. Nikolai. My son is knocking my door. Assign static IP address. Enable port forwarding. Yeah, I'll do this later. Line 28. No, this is assigned to a proper stack, no? Yeah, this is good. What do you mean? Assign static IP address. I think it's correct, no? To kill the unborn in the womb. So yeah, so this is gonna download the latest version. No, so that's not, so that's gonna be this. So that's not correct. I will not do this like this. I will use Pi imager instead. I think I mean I agree with Totem in a way, right? That the thing is, right? No. But I think it's a great discussion. I think what Totem is saying is correct, right? In a way, I mean, we are all apathetic to privacy, and that's true. Like, also Sako is also right. It's like, what should I be concerned about? And he's also true for different reasons, right? Because Sako and I will live in Denmark, right? And you have the government here that's genuine, I think, for the most part, in how they use some of those things. But like Totem said, for example, in China, that's not so genuine, right? And it's true, like China's policy, like in life there, is like a Black Mirror episode, literally, right? They have social rankings and stuff like that, right? But then at the end of the day, right, why does that matter as well, right? Because again, some nation, like, we have to understand that philosophically there are many cultures out there, right? And this has been the problem here in the West, and the Western influence that it tried to spread across the world, right? There are many cultures out there, and those cultures can live however they want. I mean, if people in China don't want to be observed and tracked, well, they can fight their fight, right? If people in Saudi Arabia want to live like this, they can live like that. So fundamentally, right, it really depends where you live and how much you trust your government. But you know, we are software engineers, and we know a lot about this stuff. An average person, my mom is using Facebook, you know, for 15 years. She doesn't even know what privacy is, probably, let alone she caring about that. And that's the average user of those platforms, right? So it's not that, right, that's the average person on this planet, right? Probably your girlfriend or boyfriend is like that as well. So it's like, what can you do, right? One simple thing is like, if you don't want to expose yourself, don't use internet, right? If you're using internet, you're already exposed, right? Now you can regulate this to some degree, but that's how it is, man, right? And just pray that you're living in a country that, you know, it's not going to knock on your door if you say something against your government and whatever. And that's how it is, really, right? So no, I mean, yeah, not really, not really, Leo, right? That makes no sense. If I wanted to be anonymous, I wouldn't be streaming on Twitch, right? Look, nothing really matters, right? That's not the point. The only thing that matters is not being a hypocrite. So let me rephrase. If you're using internet, let me actually put a banal example here. You have those actresses or actors who fuck each other in the ass, and then they put those videos, they upload those videos to their cloud. And then somebody hacks their passwords, and then, oh my God, oh, my porn has been released online. It's like, dude, if you didn't want your porn to be released online, you wouldn't upload a fucking video fucking each other in the ass and then putting it online, right? That makes no sense, right? So that's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. If you want to be private, then don't upload stupid shit to the fucking internet. That's simple example. If you want to have privacy, don't put shit on the fucking internet. And that's it. You cannot have both. You cannot put your fucking shit on the internet and then bitch about how your image is leaked somewhere. So this is just about simple logic, right? You want to be private, yes, then remove Facebook, Twitter, and all of this shit and be private, or shut the fuck up, right? And that's right. That's really how it is. Don't create this false assumption that you can be on the internet, put your porn on the internet, and be private. That's just plain fucking stupid. That's like me putting my dick on the balcony, waving with it, and telling people there, don't you dare to look at it, right? Come on. Like, people have to grow the fuck up. Seriously, man. If you don't have curtains in your home and you fuck your wife or husband and somebody sees that, that's your fault, not their fault. So if you put stupid shit on the internet and somebody sees it, that's your fault. And that's how it is. And those discussions are really useless because it really boils down to a very binary thing. You want privacy, well, don't put stuff on the internet. If you don't care about privacy, put stuff on the internet. And I don't know what else is really need to be said here, literally, right? But what are you gonna do about it, right? You know that already. I'm a realist, right? I'm a true realist. This is not about what's right or wrong, because world doesn't operate on the premise of right or wrong. It never did, and it never will, right? So I'm asking, what are you gonna do about that? Nothing. You will do nothing about it. Yes, companies will use your data, and you will be giving it to them, and you know that already. That's the point. You know the facts. Now it's up to you to, if you care about it, then stop using the stuff or just live with it. Unless you can change something. Unless you can't, I mean, and you can't. If you can do it. If you can't, then it's pointless to right? You can go read terms of service, and if you like it, use it. If you don't, right? For sure, Totem, for sure, right? Absolutely, man. The point here, again, I actually agree with all of you. all of you genuinely have very good points. That's not a matter of discussion. But some of those opinions are not rooted in reality, right? They're rooted in idealistic point of view. Oh, things in the world should be like this, they should not be like this. It doesn't matter how things should be. Only thing that matters at the given time is how things are. And that's how the things are. You already know that if you put your data online, somebody is going to use it to make money. You already know this. And that's it. So what are you going to do about it? Only thing you can do about it is not put your stuff online. That's the only choice you have. What else are you going to do, right? That's how it is, right? I just think genuinely that it's pointless to discuss because again, it's fairly simple, right? Bam, 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 bam. Okay, we'll update that again. Blue Jean. Hey friend, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it, man. I mean, I think there's one other fundamental right thing about this thing. You are indeed actually paying for those services by your data, right? Because one thing that I've noticed here on this stream past year is that all of you love free things, right? Whenever there's something free, you'll say it, right? So how many of you would actually be happy to pay $10 a month for the services to use so they don't track you? So how many of you here, like some of you have been watching me for a year now, and you still haven't paid me $5 a month, right? So you've been getting content for a year now, and you haven't been paying $5 a month. How many of you would be ready to not be tracked, but pay for all of the services you're using $5 or $10 a month? So imagine you probably have 5 services you're using. So would you be willing to pay $50 a month to not be tracked? Because what is the other alternative, right? I mean, you cannot expect everything for free, right? You wanna watch Twitch. I don't wanna have ads on Twitch. I don't wanna subscribe. I don't wanna be tracked, right? So what it is that you actually want? Let's be realistic here. Would you work for free? Because I find this incredibly, right? I find this incredibly kind of spoiled in a way, right? So what would you do? So this is what I hear on Twitch. People don't want to see ads. If I would enable ads on this stream, I would have maybe 20 people watching me, right? So you don't want to pay, you don't want to watch ads. So what it is that you actually expect, that you're going to use something and it's just inherently free. Nobody's tracking you, you just get everything because what, you deserve it somehow inherently, what, you were born and now you have the right to consume things for free, right? So the point is, right, like what it is that you actually want, right? I mean, you have to be realistic here a bit, right? What? Oh, just give me everything for free. I was born, hence I deserve it. Is that it? Should we just fucking bring back communism and socialism and group it together, right? Let's just make the government take whatever fuck they want from anyone and give it to you because, well, you are alive and you need things, right? But I'm pretty sure that it's transparent. I'm pretty sure that if you read those, if you actually take 20 minutes and read those terms of service, I'm pretty sure that they do say that they will use your data. I'm sure that they say that they will use your data. But I can tell you that 99.9% of you would not be willing to pay for those services, right? Well, companies, man, have to capitalize on something. That's the whole point, right? If it's free, so that's why I say whenever Leo uses word free, right? So there's nothing free in life. That's why I keep saying this in the stream. Nothing is free, man. So that's the point, right? Ask yourself, would you be willing to pay all the services you're using today $5 or $10 a month and in the exchange not be tracked? I would, and I do, right? But for me, $5 is meaningless, $10 as well. But what about people from other countries that maybe can't do that, right? So again, you cannot expect everything for nothing, right? That's super rude, right? Exactly. If something is free, then you're the product. Absolutely, right? So again, come on, show a bit respect to those companies as well. I'm not by no means fan of any company, Amazon, whatever. But I mean, come on. Some people who are building this crap, right? They have to put bread on their table as well. Somebody, they have to make money, right? So you cannot just wake up and say, well, I don't want to get tracked. I don't want to see ads. I don't want to subscribe to the streamer. What the fuck do you want, man? Right? Like what it is that you want, right? Because next time you go and interview with a company, just ask them, can you work for free? Just, maybe if they ask you, hey, can we not pay your salary? Just say yes. Absolutely. I'll just wake up every day and go to work and not get paid, right? But why do people have such a, why do you have to say that someone is multi-billion-dollar company? Why does that matter? Multi-billion-dollar companies employ hundreds of thousands of people. They feed millions of people indirectly through their families. So why do we have to always emphasize that there's multi-billion-dollar company? Why would that be bad, right? I mean, how many people Amazon employs? Amazon employs 1.6 million people. Do you know how much, this is a population of some countries, right? So like, what is this socialistic, communistic, negative energy that people have against billion-dollar companies? Those companies, man, grew, and they were small companies at one point, and then they grew, and now they do pay their dividends to the world. Amazon, again, employs 1.6 million people. Do you know how many salaries they pay, how much tax they pay, etc., etc.? What about Apple? Apple employs 146,000 people. You know how much people is that? Microsoft, 221,000 people. Right? So those are crazy numbers, man. You know how many families live off of this, right? So again, let's show some respect here, right? Those companies are not some boogeyman, right, who are like killing the world and shit. If you open your own startup, try making 10 people happy out of 20 people. Because people are going to go, listen to this, people are going to go and find some random Amazon worker from a warehouse somewhere being unhappy, and then they're going to shit over Amazon, right? But dude, like they're employing 1.6 million people. Of course that there's going to be some employees who are not happy. I mean, in your company, probably where you work, maybe there's 20 of you and 5 of you are unhappy, bitching about things, right? So what I've noticed the pattern, they find some Amazon worker in some warehouse in Texas. He didn't have perfect rights. He's like, oh my God, Amazon is a horrible company, right? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about, man? 1.6 million people, right? That's a lot of people to employ, right? All right. Well, my kid is here, right? Nate, let me just share my camera. But super interesting discussions, guys. Super interesting discussions. I'll need to leave you to it now. I need to go. We are going to see some guests. We have to be there soon. So look, Totem, right? Again, just my last thought, right? I think it's unfair. What you're doing, I think, is unfair to a company that employs 1.6 million people. You're taking the worst case scenario and then applying it to the whole. You're creating a framework of such where you're taking the worst case example and then projecting it to the whole company, right? I don't think that's realistic, right? At the end of the day, right, in capitalism, everybody has right to do what they want. If you don't have a bathroom break, quit your job and find something better. Is that humane? Absolutely not, right? I agree with you, it fucking sucks, but you cannot pick and choose capitalism, man. Capitalism is a free market and it's brutal for some people and it's amazing for some people, but I think fundamentally it's probably the best system that we had so far. Is it ideal system? Of course not, right? But again, and that is a shitty thing to say, if you don't want to work for $6 an hour, well, then work for 7 if somebody is willing to pay you, or work for $7 million a minute, right? So right, you cannot pick and choose. You cannot make capitalism socialism or communism, right? So there's no ideal system, and some people throughout the history of time have been in a shitty place and they will always be there. And that is how it is. Like this premise that there is some perfect system where we all live equally and we're all equally happy is just an idealistic point of view. Would anyone disagree with that? Of course not. But it never happened in history, and it never will happen, right? So if you're a company that employs 1.6 million people, right? Then is there going to be people who have a shitty job? Absolutely, right. That's just how it is, and I hope that there are people who are fighting for those types of people. But I think it's unfair to use those examples to shit on the entire company, right? Because I'm sure that there are many other people at Amazon or any of those companies that are having great time and they love the place and stuff like that, right? So that's just how it is fundamentally, right? But again, you cannot pick and choose, right? You either live under one system or the other, or you try to make some balance between, right? But that's what free market is, man. If you're worth something, somebody is going to pay you something. If you're not worth it, nobody will pay you. And it's trade of services and skills and stuff. And if you're wondering why are you being paid $6 an hour, that probably means that what you're doing is 3 billion other people can do as well, right? Sure, Totem, absolutely, man. I mean, again, absolutely. But at the end of the day, there's no really point to make there. companies can make decision as they wish, so can employees, right? We cannot base this argument on a premise that somebody owns someone. So employees have a choice to quit the job that they dislike if they can find something better, and companies have a choice to hire people that they want, right? So if you think that there's unjust, that company that you're working under is unjust towards you, well, then quit and find something else, right? I mean, it's a huge world, right? So if you think that you're worth more than you're getting paid for, either try to get it by talking reasonably or quit and find something better, right? And that is free market, right? But let's discuss it. It's an interesting subject. It's political, not programming, really. So that's what it is. But my wife is calling me. My kids are calling me. Guys, thank you very much. I'm sorry that I have to leave. It's super fun. I'll probably see you guys tonight around 9 or 10 p.m. So if you're around, I'm going to have some scotch here on the table. So yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, I wish you best. And thank you very much as always. Be well, stay well, and be smart. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Cheers. Totem, right back at you, buddy. Bye-bye. See you. Goodbye. Sako, I'll SMS you right after now, or I'll give you a call in a second. So let's talk. Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye, guys. All the best. Cheers.